Five, four, three.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the Reel McCoy. I'm your host, Meffistoe, and always with me, my hetero life mate, All My Feelings. How you doing, sir?
Good evening, buddy.
What is the Reel McCoy, you might ask? The Reel McCoy is your weekly movie podcast where we ask you to go and watch a movie. You watch it, come back to us, and we geek out and break it down and flip it all around. Yes, I went there. Today we finish up our kind of a birthday month where Mr. Oh My Feelings get to call the shots, and we review a movie that he likes a lot, apparently, called The Rules of Attraction from 2002. Lots of stuff to talk about. How many times have you watched it this week?
3.
I watched it once and 2 minutes.
I know you hate
once
it.
and 2
I had
minutes.
to go back to reconfirm certain notes. I had to go back and just reconfirm everything that I had written down, and I got it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. All right, cool. Before we get into everything, if you like to interact with the show, you like to interact with us, mainly it's me, just saying. You can follow me on Twitter at Meffistoe. You can DM me. DMs are completely open. You can follow me on Instagram at Meffistoe79. Big mistake telling my mom I have an actual Instagram. You have no idea. To be determined. And always you can email the show at thereelmccoypodcast@gmail.com. Write comments in the comment section down below, all that good stuff. And just up front, I'm saying we didn't discuss this. Please share this video, like if you can, and subscribe. I don't force anybody to subscribe, but it is a number. We're trying to get this thing monetized. However, YouTube, ever since January, is being a pompous bitch. And it's difficult. Let's just say it's difficult. I don't expect it to be as soon as humanly possible, but it is there. Plus, I'm trying to win a race with somebody, so we'll see. We'll see what's happening. Movie suggestions. We kind of have our schedule locked down for the next, let's say, 6 months or so. But if you like to,
I think we're booked all the way to September right now.
we're booked up all the way up to September. But September is kind of a
free for all,
free for all month, which we want to book guests, and those guests might have a say in the movies we're kind of talking about. But as somebody who can participate in the show, give me your suggestions. I can pull it up. And one last thing before I go. I know some of you are coming onto the Mondays watch party. I do have a stream where I watch a movie with you guys. You can get the movie on any platform. It is all the movies I'm watching are readily available in any platform. Sometimes I have a link to that platform or to other platforms that you can watch it. And you can watch the movie with me. And you can already try and look for the movie right now, because you might get a DVD, like hard copy to watch this. I'm going to watch Short Circuit. I put a poll up on Twitter.
Good choice.
It was neck and neck, Deadpool and Short Circuit, and Short Circuit went up. So I'm going to put up a poll on Twitter, and you can decide which movie I'm going to watch. I'm going to do it on a third. For most people, it's going to be on a Tuesday or a Monday evening. So to Tuesday morning for me. So you can decide which movie from like 3. I'm going to give you 3 options. And you can decide which one you want me to watch with you. I like doing them. It's fun. And you can always sync up with me, because I have right about here, I have a timer. So even if you don't watch it live, you can sync up to me and watch the movie I watched. It's sort of like Twitch, but a little bit different. There. So we're gonna start straight in with our first segment of the night. It is called Behind the Screens.
Action, take 2.
Behind the Screens is where we go to All My Feelings, and we get to low down on everything behind the scenes, production stuff, everything. Take it away, dude.
So, while taking place in the fictional Camden College in the Northeast, it was actually filmed at the University of Redlands in California. If you notice, there's actually a shot where they accidentally got a couple of palm trees in the shot.
I didn't notice that, no.
Yeah.
Wasn't it shot like in Virginia or something? I thought it was shot in Virginia.
No.
Okay. Cool.
So this is actually one of the first major studio films that was actually edited using Final Cut Pro.
Interesting. Okay.
Roger Avary was such a huge proponent of it that he actually went around and basically was the self-advertisement for Final Cut Pro and its usage in major motion pictures.
Okay.
Editing.
But,
yeah.
So did they shoot it all digital?
Half digital, half reel to reel. But then in editing, they were able to digitize it all and then edit it using Final Cut Pro.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So, fun story about this. Sean Bateman he's the younger brother of Patrick Bateman.
Okay.
From American Psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Avery write American Psycho?
No, Bret Easton Ellis wrote
What?
American Psycho.
Okay. Wasn't he a part of that?
No.
Okay.
Okay. No,
weird.
not at all. Not at all.
Because I knew there was a connection. I just didn't.
But actually, what's funny is that Sean Bateman and Paul Denton, in Somerhalder's character, are actually in the American Psycho novel. And also in a little snippet of it's called Glitterati, which is later. But anyway, they were actually in the novel, but they actually weren't in the film of American Psycho.
Okay. Wait. Sean Bateman is the gay
James
guy.
Vanderbeek.
It's James Vanderbeek?
Paul Denton is the gay guy.
I'm gonna have trouble with names a lot, even though they were literally on the screen as you watched the movie.
Yes. I'll walk you through this.
It's fine. If I call him James Vanderbeek a lot today, great. By the way,
It's just Sean.
The gay dude,
Paul.
I will always call him Boone because the first time I've seen the actor in, it was on Lost. And his character's name is Boone. So that's for me, he's Boone on Vampire Diaries. He's Boone on whatever stuff he does.
Okay. So Christian Bale was offered the opportunity to reprise his role as Patrick Bateman because they were going to have a separate scene where Bateman was going to be in it because he actually is in the novelization of The Rules of Attraction. Okay. Having a conversation with Sean. He turned it down. And then Casper Van Dien actually was going to do a shoot as Patrick Bateman. Okay. Then they decided to cut it.
Poor Casper Van Dien, man. Yeah. The man can't catch a break. He's like, I want to do something else. No, another Starship Troopers. Go.
Yeah, that's all you're gonna do for the rest
Poor
of your
guy.
life. So when production, there was only a $4 million budget. When production was actually off, they couldn't actually afford the music for Faith. They contacted Roger Avary, wrote George Michael, and George Michael just gave him the rights for free.
That's great.
Yeah.
Faith was under Sony or just after he left Sony?
I think it was.
I don't remember.
I think it was under Sony.
It was under Sony.
I think so, but he still owned the actually.
There's the whole there's a whole saga with George Michael.
Yeah, it's a mess.
By the way, one of the scenes I absolutely adored.
With Richard and Paul, yeah. Or Dick. No, I will leave the table. Fuck you! And fuck you! And fuck you, pretty boy! And fuck you all very much.
Yes.
Have a good one.
Thank God we're on minute 12.
I waited.
I know. You're a good buddy and a pal and a scholar. That's why.
So, originally, James Franco was actually cast to play Sean Bateman. But Roger Avary declined. It said that he couldn't play the role because he was too similar to the role of Sean Bateman in the book. Like, Sean Bateman, how he's described, looks exactly like John fucking Franco.
James,
yeah, sorry.
Whatever. Really? Interesting.
Yeah. The End of the World Party was shot on 9/11/2001.
Well, that's unfortunate.
You can't make that up.
In the evening of?
Yeah.
Wow. Damn. That's dark.
So production had many issues. Speaking of that unfortunate incident, production had many issues with the fact that James Vanderbeek at the time was still on Dawson's Creek, so he'd have to fly back and forth.
Yeah, because he was on the East Coast, on that town where they shot everything. Right?
Yeah. But then 9/11 happened and they couldn't fly him out anymore. So he was unfortunately stuck in California. So he was able to shoot the rest of the film.
Unfortunately. Yeah. For some people. Okay. Oh, by the way, you mentioned budget.
Yes.
Did it make the...
It made it's a very art house film. It's very super self-indulgent. That's why I knew that you would fucking hate this movie.
Yeah, for many reasons.
But it had it was like $11.6 million gross. So it actually ended up making it ended up making a profit.
Yeah, not too bad. And I'm guessing the like PR budget wasn't like massive. So and I would see this as like a Sundance film movie.
Very much so. Very much so.
Or like a Cannes festival, like one of those festival movies where everybody's like, "Ooh, this movie is great."
Yeah.
Like everything, everywhere, all at once. Move on.
Stop it.
Let's move on.
So a lengthy cafeteria scene was shot that was showing like the different kind of like cliques that were in there. So there were like Laura and her group of friends. Some of the more druggy guys, and what Roger Avary referred to as the other F word table.
Yeah.
Where Paul was the leader there, and he was supposed to be wearing like this like mesh top, but his nipples were supposed to be erect the whole time. So Ian Somerhalder, between takes, would have to sit there and tweak his nipples. But he didn't tell anybody the reason why he was doing it. So everybody on the cast just saw him sitting around just going...
See, this is why I love this segment. All this shit comes out. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
There was
hello.
Yeah. There was actually Roger Avary was such a big fan of Bret Easton Ellis that one thing he was actually wanted to have another tie-in with another one of his big projects, which was Less Than Zero. They were going to have Clay and Blair were actually going to do a side cameo where they were visiting Camden College again. So yeah,
I get it.
Yep. The diner that was used in all the diner scenes should look very familiar to you because it has been in 2 films that were reviewed and 1 film that's coming up.
Okay, so I'm guessing the Pulp Fiction movie?
Nope.
Interesting.
It was in The Big Lebowski.
Oh, and
where they're drinking the coffee.
Yeah.
At the diner top. Training Day.
Fuck yeah. All right, cool.
And it's also in 7.
Really?
Yeah.
The same diner?
Yep.
Nice.
It's called the Carousel Diner. It was an old diner that was closed down, but it's only repurposed to be used for a film shooting
for
location.
film. Yeah. Is it close to like one of the studios?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So it's convenient and cheap.
Matter of convenience, and it's also like it's a perfect 50s-esque like greasy spoon kind of diner.
It's a good venue to.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if it's the same diner as American History X, because it kind of...
I don't think so.
Maybe. I don't know if there's a way to check.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I could probably look it up. They probably have it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Carousel Diner has its own IMDb page. I would not be surprised.
We'll check. All right.
So Christina Ricci was offered, but then turned down the role of Lauren. That's a very interesting little side note about that coming up later with one of her exes.
Okay.
This is one of her ex's favorite films. He's also kind of, I guess you could call him a rock star. But moving on, we'll get to that point later because
you'll explain it to me because Hollywood. I used to follow Hollywood Connections. Now, no fucking way.
Yeah. Avary wanted to give writing credit to Ellis, who wrote the original novel. But the Writers Guild adamantly refused because Ellis had nothing to do with the screenplay.
Okay.
Speaking of, this is Ellis's favorite adaptation of any of his works because he thought that Avary did the most faithful adaptation.
More than American Psycho?
Yeah, he actually originally hated American Psycho. The same way that Stephen King hated The Shining at first. Yeah.
By the way, we had a reminder from our guest for The Shining, and I was like, "Oh, that reminds me. I need to reread the book before I come on to your show." It's like you don't have to. It's like I would love to. It's like great.
Yeah. So the studio, given the fact that this is after the very popular American Psycho was released, came out, they wanted to include a serial killer angle given the fact that Sean is the younger brother of Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
They refused because it made no sense. There was nothing in the story about anyone being killed. I mean, there is the suicide.
Yes.
No actual homicide in the film. They did not do that. Instead, they decided to make American Psycho 2 All-American Girl starring Mila Kunis and William Shatner.
I haven't seen it and I don't want to see it.
Don't. It is so bad. So various scenes had to be cut or edited in order for it to actually receive an R rating. Most notably, the blurring of a certain magazine at Rupert's, the drug dealer's house, the vomit on Lauren's back at the beginning.
Yeah, and at the end.
Yeah.
Technically.
And the suicide scene was way more graphic. As in, they actually showed her doing the deed.
Instead of a close-up?
Yeah, like it lingered on for an uncomfortably long period of time.
Oh, yeah, because it's 2 seconds. Yeah. And if it lingers more, it goes into like NC-17 territory.
Yeah, very much so. So Roger Avary was so upset with the marketing that he personally helped design the poster, the good poster.
By the way, you asked me to use the good poster. Yes. I used it. I don't know if you looked at the thumb. I know I did. Yes. You're supremely busy, and I don't expect you to. But you said use the good poster, and I was like, which one? It's like you'll know which one.
Which one?
And I was like, I wonder. I looked at like 2 or 3. One just popped out. That's the one I used.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one that Roger Avary would help design and commission eventually.
He thought that all the apropos. It's very apropos.
Oh, very much so. He thought all the other posters looked too Saved by the Bell.
Yes.
They look
like a high school romp movie, sort of like a rom-com, I would say,
or just like a teen comedy. That's what it looked like.
Yeah. More like an American Pie style. Not really, but suggestive as a.
So it could be like a teen comedy or like She's All That, where it's like a rom-com like that. You
like
could
an early 2000s stuff. 10 Things I Hate About You kind of poster.
Yeah. So the author was supposed to do a commentary track, but he overslept due to his massive drug problem.
Okay.
When he did show up for recording, it was so jumbled, they couldn't use the track. So if you own a copy of the Blu-ray or the DVD, there is a commentary track by the comedian Carrot Top. Really? It's him watching the film for the first time.
Okay.
It's actually really fucking funny.
But that's like Carrot Top before he went crazy, when he was actually good.
Yes. That's when he was known as the prop comic, not the I'm just juiced out the gills.
Yeah. I just wanted to give an idea of what the poster I haven't used. This is really, really early 2000s stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's like, and I always found it funny too that they use Kate Bosworth in so many of the photos. Yeah, Kate Bosworth is in the film for 2 scenes.
That's mostly yells to God.
A
little bit, right?
A little bit.
She mostly yells to God.
The last note before we start getting into the film is Shannon Sossamon, who plays Lauren.
Yeah,
was actually the roommate of the girl who is the food service girl, who's in love with Sean, who ends up doing the big one. The photos that they use, the scene where Sean is having sex with Laura, who is Jessica Biel's character. And that when he's on mushrooms, when he looks up and he sees the photos of Lauren and this food service girl together. Yeah. Those were actual photos that they took together outside. They were Shannon Sossamon's private photos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me 1 second. Oh, much better. Too much light. Need to be a little bit in the dark for this.
Yeah. So the rest of it we'll talk about when we talk about the film.
All right, because Tarantino was mentioned backstage, and we will touch upon that. All right, cool. So the movie kind of starts off with the party, but like I just mentioned, Tarantino has an effect on this movie in where a lot of stuff is displaced.
It's all disjointed. And it's really like, if you know,
in time, in like there's no one timeline. There's, we jump back into the past. We start off with the current, future, not future, and we go back and we listen to the story, and then we get to the final piece. Sort of. By the way, didn't like the movie.
Oh yeah,
I told you I watched it once and a little bit. I told my wife on Monday, she's pretty mad at you. I told my wife, this is a movie we're going to watch this week. I remember watching it once. I didn't remember everything all about it. I remember James.
There's a lot.
I remember James Van Der Beek being an asshole at the time, where in the TV he was like the goody two shoes.
Yep.
And in this he's like, yeah, I'm gonna make a movie that it's edgy, and I'm gonna be edgy, and I'm gonna be a drug dealer, and I'm gonna be the most James Van Der Beek. I'm gonna be completely off the chain. And I remember it not going so well. I remember this movie flopping. I don't know why. Anyway, we watched
it fine.
We started to watch The Party, and then Lauren got vomited on.
Yeah.
And the moment she got vomited on, my wife was like this. She was watching. What the fuck what are we watching? Stop this right now. We are not watching this. And I told her, what?
I know you were going to watch it with Mrs. Meth. If I knew that, I would have told you flat out, do not watch this with your wife, because Mrs. Meth would hate this movie.
I did a full-on wolf from Shrek. What? And I was like, I had to apologize profusely. Not that day. Throughout the week, she might enter this room right now telling me she's going to bed. It's like, oh, there's Kyle. She's going to watch the second monitor with the movie. Like, here, it's like, what are you doing again? It's like, you know what I'm doing. We talked about this all throughout the week.
Yeah. There's some real offensive shit in this film.
I mean, I didn't find it offensive. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the story. I basically didn't like the story.
Well, I mean, the characters are all supposed to be completely morally reprehensible. That's supposed to be their whole shtick.
Yeah, and to be perfectly honest, I don't want to summarize everything, but there's I thought about it this week, and my take was, this is a bunch of people who are literally in a circle jerk. One loves the other, the other loves the other, the other one's the other, and the other one's the other, and they don't have anything. And if they just turned around and looked at themselves and then looked at the other side, probably a lot of stuff would have gone resolved, but way earlier.
That's the issue. They're all so self-absorbed that they have no frame of reference. They have no way to gain that kind of perspective at all.
And the fact that it's not like James Van Der Beek is the local dealer, or the college guy dealer, and everybody's like goody two-shoes. Everybody's fucking on drugs. This drug or the other drug. Both drugs together. One day and one the other day. The guy in the oboe, was that Fred Savage?
That was Fred Savage. Yes, it was.
I didn't look at the credits, and it came to me Friday evening. It was like,
yes, that's Fred Savage.
Was that?
Yeah.
I was like, who is that? Yeah, Fred Savage.
That's Mark. That's Fred Savage. Yeah,
the guy who puts heroin in his toes. And I was like, yeah, I've seen this before. I've seen this before. Right, cool. So it starts off with the party. And
basically just the perspectives of the three main characters. And it's kind of the same thing where it's the reverse narrative, where they're showing the ending first and then eventually going back to it.
Yeah, but they're kind of introducing the characters in their own way. And to me, I think everybody knows this movie, but they don't know the movie from this.
Yeah.
This scene is the meme everybody knows.
Yep.
Everybody knows, but nobody knows where it's from. And I watched this like, yeah, I know this movie. I know this movie. I fucking know this movie. No, maybe I remember the meme. And I was like, started to go into it because this is minute 1.5 of the movie. And when I got into it, it's like, yeah, no, I know I watched this movie. I know a lot of people know this part because this part has been used a ton in like memes and stuff. This and the what's her face? Piper. You know the meme where there's a little blonde chick, skinny blonde chick. There's like 5 black guys. In white shirts.
Yeah.
Piper something. I don't remember her name. The meme that everybody knows, but nobody's seen the porn of.
Yeah.
I've actually seen the porn of. So yeah, that's kind of
good for you, buddy. Good for
it's
you.
not good. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't get me hot and bothered, but it does give you.
You're sharing way too much right now.
Hey, this is a show. We need to entertain people. Entertain people. We've got 5 people here. We've got DK on the DK would agree with me. Right.
So think about the
agree with me, DK, please.
Okay, the issue is like what's funny is they even show the juxtaposition how they're even when Lauren's talking about it, is how she mentions like this is many years ago, and then the story with Laura, Jessica Biel's character, how she's doing that. It's like she's now married to a senator and has 4 kids.
Yeah. But the train has run through all the way through.
Let's just say,
yeah. I can't really show the Lauren bit because it's pretty graphic.
It's really graphic. Yeah.
The fact that the CSI Miami tech guy is there made me laugh so fucking hard. He's filming the whole thing, and she tells about the night she loses her virginity. And this is why it took me just a double take to realize that this whole part comes at the end.
Yeah.
Because when it goes backwards, she still talks about like her boyfriend and how he's away and he's not there. However, he was just at the party. Right. But where it's like, oh, that's right. It goes back. It goes back.
Yeah. So, and if you notice too, with the story, to how it keeps reversing time.
Yeah, that little cinematic thing where it's like tells a story of that character. Then
it's broken open and the keg rolls backwards and they put it back on and the ice builds back up.
It drove me fucking nuts.
Oh, see, that's one of the things.
Because it happens like 3 or 4 times in the movie, right?
5 times in total.
5 times in the movie. It literally drove me crazy. It's like, oh, I want to fucking tell the story. God damn it. Cut to go back. I'm guessing the director wants us to know at certain points that he wants to tell the same story in like, he takes a turn and he wants to have the same story, but told with a different character. But because they're here, the first kind of scene is where everybody's in the same party. But later on, he literally is talking about 2 different characters at the same night in 2 different perspectives. And it just, I don't know. I didn't like it. See, this is one of the things cinematically that I didn't like. Otherwise, it's mostly the story. Never mind. Okay. So we get to see.
So we get the story about the story with Paul.
Yes. And how he kind of misjudged or misread somebody's gayness, even though you look very gay.
But the thing is, he was absolutely right though, because remember what he says is after that is like, yeah, I learned 6 months later he ended up sleeping with a friend of mine, and now he's a full blown queen. And he's saying that I couldn't get it up that night. That's the reason why we didn't have sex. It's like no. And if you notice in the background of the Paul shot there, when he gets thrown out of that guy's room, there were the 2 guys that brought the keg in, and what are they doing? those two guys in the background, they're fake, like they're mimicking Doggy Style because they had just seen the Lauren scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's just say he calls him names. However, you might thus protest too much. The lady must protest too much, I think, in this. Where when he pushed him away, I was like, yeah, Paul must have misread the guy. But when he went full blown, I'm not an F.
Like full anger? Like
full
that's
anger,
where you go like,
nah, you got called out. I know. We know.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And then we have the thing where Sean it's the reverse
then it goes
of him tearing
back
up the notes
again. Yeah. I was literally queuing up the tearing up the notes thing.
Yeah.
And he tears up the notes, and then I need to fuck somebody and anger fuck them immediately. And he goes straight to the room. It's like cute to Kate Bosworth. And to be honest, never liked Kate Bosworth. She's like,
I don't even remember her in anything else except for I think it was a Blue Crush. That
I don't remember
surf film.
I don't remember, but I think James Van Der Beek took the role to look like this.
Yes.
While
and also
he's like
that look when he's thinking of all the things that he could do. As the things get darker, his eyes just go down, and he starts to look like more like an animal hunting prey.
Yeah. Do you remember when
and of course that line that I love is like, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Rock and roll. And roll.
Do you remember when Hugh Jackman was one of the first X-Men films? They asked him, "How can you was it maybe the actor studio? Somebody asked him how do you play Wolverine?" And he said his acting coach said, "When you look at someone, look at them through your eyebrows."
Yeah,
because that's more like an animalistic, savage kind of look. Because Wolverine is a badass animal. Here, he looks through his eyebrows to look at the prey, because it's not a woman anymore. It's just a meat sack.
And if you notice too, like all of them have this big bit of disillusionment.
Yes.
And actually there's even a point later where the actual phrase disillusionment strikes is actually uttered in
yeah.
But so after that we have then the reversing of it, where it says the title, we get the title splash, the rules of traction, that it's actually going back from winter to the beginning of the term.
Yes. And we get
and also Sean, the soundtrack is so fucking good.
The soundtrack is absolutely great.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
I'm telling you right now, I recognize every single track. I cannot tell you the name of the artist, and I cannot tell you the name of the song. But if it would have come up on the radio, that volume would have been turned up. Yeah. While, like, let's say in my car, that volume would have turned up immediately. Yeah. Immediately. The soundtrack is fucking great. Fucking great. It actually, just listening while watching was a good experience. A good experience in terms of getting the sound. The thing is this, to me, as soon as I saw this shot, I already knew. Not because I've seen it before. Again, totally lost on the story. As soon as I saw this was like, turned everything up. And when she gave him an extra like sausage or hot dog or something in his food, I was like, yeah,
the breakfast sausages.
Okay, yeah. That's where it kind of ruined it to me. It ruined it for me in terms of what the reveal is. But it just added that another person in that circle jerk of people.
Well, but see, what's so great about that too is the fact that she is also so self-absorbed that she automatically assumes that Sean is going to know that it's her.
Yeah, because when he goes, the shot where he passes her by, he goes to the PO boxes, and when he opens up the PO box and he takes out the letter and starts reading it.
Well, it's also like, because when he opens it up, he goes, "Oh, you dirty bitch," because of the glitter. Like, this is clearly not the first letter that he's received from this person.
Yes,
because it even says, like, even in the note was like, sometimes I think you know who I am, and it's like, maybe if you just walked up to him and said, like, "Yeah, I wrote these. What's up?"
It kind of, to me, I saw Pump Up the Volume a couple of weeks ago on the Monday watch party, and it's like, yeah, it's sort of like the Eat Me, Beat Me lady with the red letters and the smells and the you know who I am and you talk to my soul. And the guy who reads it really doesn't know who you are.
You are, yeah.
Yeah. But you could see him smile, right? When he gets the letter, he smiles. And he thinks he knows, but he doesn't know. He kind of he built it up in his head, same as everybody else in this movie. They built up this connection with somebody else where it's not there.
Yeah.
Which again leads to a lot of shit.
Lot of shit.
Yeah, we're gonna stop here before we dive really deep into the movie, and we're gonna do our first segment of the night. You know what it's called? Missing Marquee. Missing Marquee is where we have 10 posters of movies, have their text written off. We display them, and Oh My Feelings and you out there in the chat can guess which movie this is. Let's get going. This could be tricky. Let's go. First movie. Chat participation is most welcome, guys. I know there's a delay.
That's clearly Mel Gibson.
Clearly Mel Gibson. A very, very good. This poster is fantastic. Way better than the movie. The movie is awful. I think it's one of the first appearances of RDJ.
Wow. That's going way back then.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know it.
I'm guessing the crowd doesn't know. Or I'm gonna give you 5 more seconds. It's about planes.
No shit.
It is called Air America.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Oh no.
I don't know why this movie was so praised. I disliked it. I watched it twice. Just to make sure I don't like it.
You know, I never actually saw this film.
It's worth watching once. It has certain elements that are innovative, I would say, in terms of dealing with aliens. Chat doesn't know. Oh My Feelings is stomped.
No, I've never seen it.
Arrival. I love Jeremy Renner in this.
It's Batman Forever.
Batman Forever is correct.
That's Crank.
That is Crank, and not Transporter.
It's Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2, correct. By the way, I love that fucking.
That's the most recent King Arthur movie.
That is the King Arthur movie.
Phone Booth.
Phone Booth, correct. This one is difficult. Oh, nope. Nope. Sorry. Come on.
That's not Gator.
Gator.
It's not Hudson Hawk, obviously.
It's definitely not Hudson Hawk. It came in 2 movies after, I think. His father is the dad from Frasier.
Nope. Mm-mm.
It is called Striking Distance.
Huh. Is that Tinker?
Not the French Connection.
No, is that Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy?
Nope. Striking Distance looks like Speed 2, but I don't know.
Yeah, it does. It looks like that.
Says, I know it's not. Yeah. No, it's not.
Is that Hackman?
Hackman. It is Gene Hackman. Yes. He is listening to a title of the movie. If we're talking, he's listening to our
conversation. Is this the
conversation? Correct.
Okay. Wild Wild West. Yeah.
Wild Wild West is correct, and that
the
is
giant metal spider. You had some really weird ones in there that I have.
There's one without the spider, but this one is much better
because it has to have the spider in it. I mean,
it has to have the spider. Damn.
Fair, I have those were actually 3 movies that I have never seen before. To be fair,
what Striking Distance? You haven't seen
Striking Distance?
Oh, it's
Air
good.
America.
Let's just say
The Arrival. I have never seen any of those.
In terms of movie, which is it's not really an action movie. It's more like a murder mystery movie. In terms of movie story building up, it's better than Hudson Hawk. If you don't like Hudson Hawk,
I'm like, wow, because that's a real high bar.
Hey, I have to compare, right? If you don't like Hudson Hawk, you would definitely love this one.
So if you want to do that, compare it to Die Hard. That's a
oh no, it's you can't compare it to Die Hard because it's not an action movie. There are action elements in it.
Okay.
So guns and all that stuff, but it's much more of a murder mystery.
Gotcha.
Half detective story, all that stuff. It's good. It's just been forgotten for time, and it bombed, I think, because people expected Bruce Willis, action hero, blah 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 blah, and it was not. So
I was gonna say the only thing that's funny right before what scene you're gonna talk about next which is obviously Rupert, but before that, when Lauren goes to the classroom and it just says the note from the professor, "My wife left me for my TA. All classes are canceled this term."
I like the fact that Eric Stoltz is in this.
Yeah.
Sort of, I think it's an inspiration from Tarantino, and he is also kind of a stoner in this one too, but not really. He's the professor, right?
Robot. Yeah, getting some robot voice from you, bud.
Oh shit. I don't know why. Maybe it's you. Is it okay now?
Yeah, but you're kind of speeding up and slowing down at the same rate.
Right. Go. Talk.
Okay. So when John goes to Rupert's, the way that they designed the Rupert house, the set designer was told by Roger Avary, imagine it was a grandmother's house and they never decided to redecorate. They just added shit to it.
I like the fact that Rupert is genuinely thinner. Okay, we're good. Genuinely thinner and way shorter than James Van Der Beek, like Sean.
Yes.
Yet he overpowers him like that. Which is great.
But then they have the Sean's lies that keep building upon each other about where he tells people where he was.
Yeah.
And where he says, like, I need you like I need an asshole on my elbow right here. That was a line that came from the script of Pandemonium Reigns, which is the Gold Watch scene. The entire Gold Watch segment from Pulp Fiction was based off of Pandemonium Reigns.
Interesting.
And the line, I need an asshole, I need you like I need an asshole on my elbow, was supposed to be in that. Tarantino didn't use the line, but then ended up using it later in Kill Bill Volume 2.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So James Van Der Beek owes this guy money, and we know he's been lying to everybody because he
Everybody.
was lying to the girls, he was lying to the gay dude, he was lying to everybody. Especially, it's like I don't remember him being killed in this movie. However, you did it. This is where it kind of clicked on me. Where he doesn't have like broken face. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. I get it. His face kind of is like, oh, okay. Kind of face kind of flooded back. And we mentioned Fred Savage. This was Fred Savage's best role because I did not recognize him at all until like it was like, oh shit, that's it. That like you know.
Just some fun bits about this. Fred Savage actually improvised his dialogue. It was like, Cash, what class? What class, man? Who teaches that?
Yeah. Was that ad-libbed?
Yeah, it was ad-libbed.
Nice.
It's just what is actually shown in the background, what film he was watching, is the cabinet of Dr. Caligula, which is what's a very, 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 very famous German silent film. It's all about a hypnotist using a somnambulist, someone who sleepwalks, to kill people.
To kill people.
Yeah.
And we kind of skipped over the fact that Paul, right? Paul is the gay dude.
Is he? He's not completely gay. Because he's marked as bi, because there's actually the line where he is when he's walking around where they have the big Wicker Man party.
Yeah, I was getting to that.
Yeah, where he's walking around and then he ends up going and hitting on Mitchell.
Yeah, but he also hits on Sean as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, because he asked him, he's like, quesadilla, Mexican food. You want to go get dinner? It's like, I'll buy. Are you buy? Oh, you'll buy? Is it like totally buy?
Yeah, and I was like, I don't. And he was talking to Sean, and Sean is like, it literally that sentence seemed to like go over his head, where it's like, why are you offering me food tomorrow? It's like, why? And he's just said, yeah, I'll do it, and it went into the ether to him, I think. But Paul, like I said, his name is Paul, right? I'm Paul, and it's between y'all.
Yes, that's Paul. And I noticed, if you notice too, the girl that was with Mitchell, Candace,
yes,
is wearing a shirt that says Tom and Andy on it. Those are the guys that made all the original music for this film.
Interesting.
Tom and Andy.
Interesting. So, like score or just
songs? The score? Yeah. So the actual like original score for the film that obviously isn't just licensed music.
Again, in the there's the whole party. You get to see a different perspectives. Again, it goes rewind again, so you'll see every single character and their development for that particular night. And when the morning comes, you get to see something cinematic that I absolutely love. Is
the panning shots,
the two perspectives,
so good. Yeah,
the two perspective, and then they kind of meet, and then it rejoins and becomes a whole like scene. I love that when they do that. It's not done often, but when it's done right, and in this moment, it's done very
perfectly. Yeah,
it's very good, very, very good cinematically. Love that.
And that was also, if you notice, that was also the professor to Eric Stoltz's character that she went to go see. And did you see what quote he had up there?
I don't remember. No,
it's from Nietzsche. Love matters.
Oh yeah. It comes up again in a few. Is there like a specific significant? Because Nietzsche comes up quite a bit in this movie. Why?
Because Ellis is such a huge fan of Nietzsche. Okay. Such a huge fan of Nietzsche. And if you notice how nihilistic most of his prose is.
Doesn't it come to fruition in American Psycho as well, right? The Nietzsche part. Yeah. I need to, dude. It's on the list, man. It's on the goddamn list.
Is
it
on the list.
August?
Yes,
it's a killer month.
That's why we moved it there, because we were originally going to watch American Psycho, then followed it up with this film.
Okay,
that's what we had. We had it like long time ago.
Oh yeah, there's so many iterations that happen behind the scenes. So sorry. All right, cool. I want to move forward. The next bit is the Jay Bushnell going into cardiac arrest, but not really part. The whole scene,
they think he's ODing. He's like, no, he's just really fucked up.
This whole scene is about what, 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and it had zero impact on Paul, and zero impact on any other character.
Sure. Yeah.
I just didn't get this scene.
The only
it's
point,
funny.
What it's supposed to be about, it's supposed to show how utterly and totally apathetic Paul is outside of his own self-interest. Because that's all he cares about, is getting back in order to go meet with Sean.
And fuck Sean, yeah.
Yeah, or try to, yeah.
Like I said, everything in terms of relationships is all in the characters' minds. What I'm going to do with Sean, or what I'm going to do with Lauren, what I'm going to do with that girl, and whatever, right?
But you have to admit, everyone who is working at the hospital, holy shit, it's fucking funny.
That
nurse, when she walks, the nurse, when she walks by, is like, help him, he's ODing. I'm on my break. Do you know why they're like that? Because they are so accustomed to people coming in saying, oh, he's ODing, oh, he's dying, when he's clearly not. They're just like, I don't have time for your shit.
Yeah.
And then the doctor's like, he's dead. His eyes are fixed and dilated. He has no pulse. Like, I can see him breathing. And he goes, am I alive? No, I can assure you, you're dead.
Yeah. No,
I must insist you bring your friend's corpse back for me to run some tests.
Oh, that guy was hilarious. Because never mind. I was like, where have I seen that doctor before? The actor.
He's a bit actor. He's been in a lot of films.
Yeah, I know I've seen him before, and every single time he plays like the kooky kind of off character, and it was like him playing the doctor saying those things is literally such a perfect casting choice.
Only thing I could think of that would have been better is if they would have hired the guy from Reanimator to play that doctor.
What? Jeffrey Combs?
Yeah.
Oh,
how
that would have been glorious. I don't think they could have afforded him in 2000, let's say 2001, basically.
Yeah.
So there's another party.
Yeah. And it's right before this, they have the whole scene where it's showing that, kind of just reaffirming Lauren, or Shannon Sossman's character's sort of whole reluctance towards sex, and how she's still a virgin and everything. How she's reading the book with all the pictures of all the different venereal diseases.
Yeah.
As her own deterrent.
I kind of skipped that. That was a scene before the OD scene. There's a scene where she talks to Jessica Biel's character. Where you kind of get, she tells that, and then in the party she tells another friend about Lauren watching the STD
no, because it's Laura talking to Sean, because Sean's like, hey, where's Lauren? It's like, oh, well, no, she's at home reading the book, because she reads the book to not sleep with guys like you.
Yeah. And then Lauren kind of continues with the professor to, let's say, a private party, and he doesn't want to have sex with her. However, he definitely would want a blowjob for a grade.
Yes, because he actually uses the line. He's like, I could use my tenure for that, but for how much?
I would much rather have you blow me. And to Lauren, blowing a guy and having sex with a guy is something completely different.
Yeah.
Which kind of tells me, how many guys have you actually blown?
Well, that, and also there's probably also she's also using the other loophole.
The the one that you need lubrication for.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. However,
I knew a lot of girls in college that were like that. They're like, well, I'm saving myself for marriage, but
I know it's a okay. It really doesn't fit, generally speaking, this show. However, talking about the anus, when I was 24, I was already with my wife. She was my girlfriend at the time. A thing popped up on the internet for me for I think it was the Church of Latter-day Saints, Mormons. It's like, what is this? It's like, oh, it's abstinence. I don't remember why it came to me, but it came to me. Abstinence. We recommend that you be abstinent. However, we understand that teen boys and teen girls have raging hormones. Therefore, we supply you with a tube of lube. Remember when it came in tubes? A tube of lube and instructional on how to have anal intercourse. The Mormon Church, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you.
So,
yeah, there's another. Oh, yeah.
We have the whole scene with Sean and
Paul, and Sean does not read the room correctly.
Nope.
And Paul does not read Sean correctly. And when Sean leaves, Paul is like this.
Oh, no. Sean's still there.
Oh, right. That's right.
He just passed out.
Yeah. It's like, do you want to smoke some pot in my room? Yeah, I'll smoke some pot in your room. And when he gets to the room, he talks to him, and Sean is like not there. He's there physically, but he's not there at all. Again, but before he goes deep into like being super high, he does not read the room correctly.
No.
But Paul doesn't make any sense. He only imagines himself kissing Sean.
And them fooling around, because even Vanderbeek did his first. I believe that was his first homosexual kiss. Okay. That was committed to film or to television.
Okay.
So, but no, it was just show like that was all again imagined in Paul's head, because it had that split screen where it was juxtaposed to what Paul was actually doing and what was going on in his mind.
Yeah. And in the morning, Paul has, I like this bit where he asks Sean to take him to the bus station.
Yeah, because it's his mother, who is played by Faye Dunaway. Where it's just like,
yeah.
Hello.
Exactly. And the other one, I don't remember the name of the actress, but she was in Sisters, and she was in
Swoosie Kurtz.
Susie Kurtz, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she's still alive or not, but she is fucking perfect in this role.
As Richard's mother, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like basically it's the two very, very waspy old ladies who are just completely gagged out on painkillers. On
like Prozac and fucking wine. It's such a stereotypical thing. It's like, God damn it. It's the stereotypical rich lady that's on Prozac. It's literally the mom from Beetlejuice all over again.
Well, just before you kind of cut there was when Sean actually leaves the scene with Paul in his room. They're sitting there, they're watching porn.
Yeah.
To begin with. But when Sean gets up to leave, he just grabs a bunch of his CDs and goes, I'm borrowing these.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. He took like a bunch of porn, like a bunch of porn, and for research, I guess.
But
the
then,
thing
so
about the scene, I wanted to touch upon this because you saw a picture I put out of Paul, and the other side is literally Sean looking at him driving away as if he was actually his lover from last night. That's why I didn't get it. So Sean does not care about Paul at all.
No, but you can see that the line that's going, like what he's actually thinking. So he's not really looking at Paul. He's looking through
Paul. Yep. That's it. That is absolutely it.
Yeah.
And
how he's even thinking about I wonder if Lauren orgasms easily, just to put it more
literally
for
5
YouTube.
Seconds later, he's already
reading because he even before he gets to the note scene here, he goes like, I won't have sex with the girl with not. That doesn't. That's like asking a question in a letter.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we get
I guess that's tonight's the night letter. Yeah.
Yeah. And we get the scene with these.
By the way, what you're gonna love is the fact, I don't know if you notice this, but every single time when it shows her, when it shows Laura, Jessica Biel, doing a bump, she goes, chicka chicka.
I didn't notice that. I did not notice that. That's interesting. I did notice the fact that she blew too much.
Yes, and that's actually when she kind of like goes, rusty pipes. Yeah, that is the second time that's used in a film based off of Bret Easton Ellis, because it was first used in Less Than Zero.
Oh, okay.
And you wonder why Robert Downey Jr., how he got hooked on fucking coke. He was in Less Than Zero.
Yeah, but not that I know, but they're not sniffing coke. They're sniffing that thing, creatine or whatever. It's definitely not coke.
Yeah. And then also,
if you know, you know.
That zing. I think you may have synesthesia.
Yeah. They are talking about absolutely fucking nothing. That's what that whole scene. They're talking about the boyfriend. She's talking about the lover.
Well, no, because she's saying, she tells Laura that like, I'm just finally just gonna fuck somebody, and it's gonna be Sean.
Yeah, it's just a stupid fucking.
That was supposed to be the whole premise of that scene, was just it's setting up the fact that Lauren is.
I think you're supposed to believe that she actually writes to Sean secretly. However, everything.
No. It's not that. It's more the fact that they had a connection at that one meeting and they had met before. So she's just finally like, yeah, you know what? I think I'll give it to Sean. I think he seems like basically she just wants to kind of get it over with at this point. That's what it really seems like her character.
Yeah. By the way, and even in the opening scene, when she gets railed, she literally says, yeah, it's okay. It's fine.
It hurt, but not as bad as I thought.
But not as bad as I thought. Plus, I want to get this over with and get done with and get it out of my system. She literally says that while or on her way there. Anyway, she mentions it right at the beginning. This call between Paul and Sean is like,
you did miss Sean's afternoon delight.
Yeah, afternoon
because they actually played Afternoon Delight while he's smelling the letters. It's like, okay, but did you notice the fact that when he picked up the phone, who did Sean think it was first? Patrick.
Yeah,
thought it was his brother. Yeah.
So I again didn't catch that because the reference says later on. Sorry. Later on, we get introduced to
Richard Dick, who, by the way, steals every single scene that he's in.
Yeah. Who's the actor? I didn't check the credits. I can check
Russell Sams.
Have
not
we
really
seen
known
him in anything?
Not really. Like, he's been in a whole bunch of like teen dramas and stuff, and he's kind of like a bit actor in those. But I mean, for every single thing that he's in, he should have gotten more work because he he's amazing in this film.
I love the fact that they use Faith, and he actually has a jacket, not really reminiscent of George Michael's jacket.
Yeah.
However, the fact that we know that George Michael is gay really works now.
Yeah. Well, that and also like he gave them the song for free
for
this scene. By the way, this scene and how they dance and everything, completely improvised. 100% improvised. It was improvised because it was Russell Sams who was backstage and he was humming the song to himself. And Roger Avary went like, let's do a number on this.
That's interesting. That's fun. Like I said, this bit was my favorite bit in the entire movie. So maybe I like the song. I don't know. It was funny. It was funny, and it was a good kind of like, this is my bro, but we also kind of like fucked before, but we're also like rich. but we're also kind of rich kids, and yeah,
we're all completely so self-indulgent. And by you have Susie Kurtz and Faye Dunaway down there, where it's like she's taking a pill. She goes, "You want one?" It's like, "What is it? Does it matter?" No,
doesn't matter. No. And it's like, for me, I was like, yeah, I've seen this before. I know who these women are. I know where they came from. I know who their husbands are. I know all the backstory without knowing any of the backstory. And I'm telling you, when they took the role and they knew what was up, that's the backstory I have in my head is exactly the same thing as they use if they used method acting.
Yeah.
And
then you have Dick's whole rant, which is
to me
sex workshop.
Yeah. To me, I loved it. However, it was, to me, very predictable.
Oh, yeah.
It was very predictable. As if I've seen this scene before somewhere else. I know what's going on. Dick is going to embarrass himself and his mom. However, his mom is not going to do a fuss because we're in polite society and we don't yell in polite society, right? Plus, she's drunk and high.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, and Paul's reaction to Dick is like, yeah, whatever. It's like, again, predictable to me. I thought it was the whole scene was predictable. That's why I like the Faith song, where it's a little bit off kilter and really doesn't fit with the entire movie. However, it's a fun scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I cannot show this.
I was going to say, pretty much the next bit of the whole dress to get screwed party, you can't really show pretty much anything in that.
Yeah. However, Sean fucks Jessica Biel's character with, what's her name?
If you notice, though, they pan throughout the shot there, it actually shows the food service girl at the opening of the kitchen crying because Sean's in the kitchen eating mushrooms and Lauren's in there doing blow.
And it was, let's just say the interaction later was predictable if you were looking from the side. That's why she's crying, I think.
Well, then they have also the line where when they're having sex, Sean has that line in his head, like, "Oh, here it is, the inevitable conclusion." He knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah, but the thing is, because of the mushroom, it kind of does that. Am I fucking this girl? And it switches to Lauren.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because when he looks up, he sees those photos that I mentioned before. He sees the photos, and then he looks down, and he's like, "Oh, no, it's Lauren." He's like,
yeah, and
that grin on Vanderbeek's face, and it's like the dopiest grin. It's like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's a bit too perfect. And of course, because she sees it, because she cries, she goes into a bathtub. Now, up till this point, and I'm telling you, you're a great friend to me. We know some stuff, personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the point where I said, okay, college, and college girl commits suicide.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know why he told me to watch this movie. Why there's like every time you give me a movie that I have not seen before, this one I have seen, but I forgot. So it's literally as if it was brand new. It's like, I understand why Oh My Feelings insisted on me watching this movie with him and dissecting it and breaking it down, because 2002, you are in college. Am I correct, my friend?
Yes.
So this came in just at the right time, just at the right moment, and we will not go into personal details whatsoever. However, all of us, we're old enough or not, even if we had bland lives, trust me, I'm looking at the camera right now. I had a very bland life. However, when it comes to this, we know stuff. Okay? And we're not going to go into personal details. And this is the moment where I said, this is exactly why Oh My Feelings wanted me to watch this. There's messages here, and I understand all of them. All of them. And this is why I'm not mad that I watched this movie. I didn't like it, but I was definitely not mad for watching it. She takes her own life anyways.
Yes.
Brutally. Where if you're a novice, let's just say this. If you're a novice, you would go like this. It seems like she had a real research about this because
she went up the street, not across it. Yeah.
Yes, which means there is very little people can do, even if they catch it right as you do it. It's heartbreaking, but it's let's just say it's a very it's the first scene where the circle I talked about, the circle jerk, kind of starts to disintegrate. And it further...
Well, and then there was the line too where, you know, poor Lauren goes and she finds
the girl,
her friend, and then also the scene where she finds Sean with Laura because she was trying to find Sean that night but couldn't find him. And what's the line that he says?
I forgot. Sorry.
I only had sex with her because I'm in love with you.
Oh, yeah. That's right. And so
you have this very tragically sad scene juxtaposed with that line.
Yeah. And
like, okay.
And the thing is, he gets the last letter after the roommate is dead and after he had that confrontation with Lauren.
Yeah.
Where
and also he's
at this point he still
thinks it's Lauren. Yeah.
It's Lauren. However, we get to see all the
scenes with the food service
with the girl who got like deleted. Yeah. Which kind of puts like a very strong emphasis on her death. Where it's like I said, the circle has started to disintegrate a little bit.
And then they also have the whole thing too, where when he's banging on her door, Lauren's door, trying to talk to her, and he says a line. So stupid.
Okay.
Since when does fucking somebody else mean that I'm not faithful to you?
Yeah. That's right. And
the thing is too, why would she be pissed? I mean, I can understand her being pissed off that he slept with her roommate, but why is he... again, they have all of these own self-absorbed, just fictional narratives built in their own heads, where he's saying being faithful to her. It's like, you are not anything. You're acquaintances at best.
Yeah, exactly. But however, he builds stuff in his own head.
So, yeah,
she builds stuff in her own head, and it's not the same
stuff.
It's not the same even level. He, according to him, he loves her. However, fucking somebody, it's just fucking, right? It's not love. And she's
I would say it's the Andrew Tate style of love.
Let's not go. Well, yeah. That's a bit too on the nose. That's a little bit right? Too on the nose. Like,
oh, that's a little too apropos, isn't it?
Yeah. And she doesn't love him, but she has, let's say, has plans for him rather than love. So she's on the fucking side and he's on the love side. So that's not really the same level. And when she finds him fucking somebody, that screws up her with her kind of deal. But and it screws his deal because it's so
And the only thing is, like, again, I am definitely a strict advocate against violence against women. It's a terrible thing, should not be done. But the whole when Sean punches Laura, Jessica Biel, on the face, and it shows her with the bloody nose and falling down, that is a direct callback to Less Than Zero.
Okay.
And it's a callback to another one of Roger Avary's films as well. So it's okay. You can see where they keep like Avary is such a big fan of Ellis, he kept utilizing themes that were prevalent throughout his work and his own previous works.
Okay. And of course, Sean is distraught. So he tries to commit suicide. However, remember when I said not professional and professional?
Not professional. That's not a load. That's not load bearing, my friend.
I mean, the hook might hold you, but that ceiling, that perforated ceiling, no way. No way. By the way, what's up with universities and perforated ceilings? We have it too, by the way.
I think it's just because it's cheap building material.
Cheap building.
Like it's super, super, super cheap to build. So
yeah. And when he can't do it, he just gives up on it. He just let me ask you something. Typically, a woman would not self-harm in terms of literal self-harm. She would take a pill or something.
I guess it's really depending on the person.
Oh, okay, fine. I'm not going to get into it. But a man would do hanging or gunshot to the head.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a fair assertion.
Typically speaking. However, he tries to take loads of pills to die. However, because I'm guessing his tolerance is way high, it does nothing.
And you notice that when he woke up, he pissed his pants.
Yes, and he wakes up. I think he says
he's
typical.
Just like typical.
Typical, right? That's what I remember. All right, let's do a pause here because there's only a few scenes left, and we'll do our second segment of the night. And kind of a refresher because it's a little bit dark out there. Second segment of the night is, of course, Screen Fighter.
Round 1, fight.
Screen Fighter is where we take two movies, pit them together, and see which one is the best one. If there's no discernible difference between the two, both of them are good, both of them are bad, we fall into our criteria, which is Saturday evening, Friday evening, out with the boys, out with the girls, out with your significant other, two movies in a vacuum. Which one will we pop in? Dink and dunk. Especially made
come
for you.
on, that's too easy.
That is not too easy.
For me, it is because, well, Days of Future Past is the best of, I would consider it the reimagining of the X-Men franchise after the terrible X3. Deadpool was just such a breath of fresh air after how laden down a lot of the Marvel movies had started to become. It obviously the clear fourth wall breaks, and it's also just how much of a passion project it was for Ryan Reynolds.
Wow, that came in quick from the chat.
Everyone's just like, yeah, it's Deadpool. It's Deadpool.
It's definitely Deadpool for me. I thought you would go with Days of Future Past. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that and also I don't like the twist that they made out of it because they tried to put. Granted, Wolverine is my second favorite comic book character of all time, but that was supposed to be all about Kitty Pryde going back, and that's supposed to be the point about it. And them trying to just force Wolverine into more stuff because Hugh Jackman was such a popular
understand something. I didn't read the comic. I know it's based on a real it's a series.
It's based off of Days of Future Past. Yeah.
Okay. I have not read Days of Future. I'm not a comic book guy. You are a comic book guy. So in terms of if it's not a straight up good adaptation, you would probably dislike it or not like it as much as something else. I think Ryan Reynolds was born to play Deadpool.
Yeah.
Naked Gun 33 1/3 or The Captain's. Is that even a movie?
Yeah.
I think isn't it a documentary?
It's a documentary. It's all about.
Then I'm going to put haven't seen it. It will just drop it off of the list because it's a documentary. It's like you can't put it against a feature film. Great. Cool. Naked Gun 33 1/3, The Final Insult, thank God, or Inception. Naked Gun 33 1/3 for me.
Naked Gun in itself was an insult. I don't need a final one. Thank you very much.
Chat says Naked Gun.
No, that says Naked Hun.
And DK Royce comes in fast with a Naked Gun. So it's a Naked Gun 33 1/3.
It's a fucking terrible film.
Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. That's the second one of the second trio.
Yes.
Do we even count the Elizabeth Banks version?
I don't, because that movie's fucking garbage.
Okay. This one is Charlie's Angels with Demi Moore and The Village from 2004. M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Shamalama Ding Dong. No.
Shamalama Ding Dong. Yep.
That's one of his worst films. I think the only film that's worse than that is The Happening. The trees are killing people.
What about the one with the fountain?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I watched it with my
Old,
wife. She didn't
have you seen
like it
Old?
either. Don't remember.
It's not.
I might
good.
have.
And then his new one looks like it's kind of. We'll see.
All right, so you're going with Charlie's Angels,
yeah,
just for the sheer entertainment factor, right?
Yes, because The Village was not entertaining in any way, shape, or form. It was just awful.
Yeah, film. I didn't like it. It's slated for us to watch. However, it might fall off. By the way, chat says
a lot better ones.
Chat says
I would
Charlie's
rather watch.
Angels.
I would actually rather watch Devil. Devil was actually.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Battle of Algiers. I have not seen Battle of Algiers.
I didn't think you ever seen that movie. Come on.
Fine. Dog Day Afternoon or Quarantine. Sorry, haven't seen Quarantine. Okay, good.
Quarantine was actually that's an interesting thriller horror.
I haven't seen it.
It's in the vein where, how found footage got really popular in the late zeros.
Then I would definitely not watch it. Yeah. Dog Day Afternoon or The Bridesmaids.
It's one of the best fucking Al Pacino films is Dog Day Afternoon.
Agree. Bad Boys 2. Here we go.
Oh, we're going to fight now. Oh, we're going to fight now.
Bad Boys 2.
Sap, your vote doesn't count on this. It's too biased.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Come on, lay it on me. I know what you're going to pick.
On. It's Ferris, man. It's Ferris.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off for Oh My Feelings. Let's see. Bad Boys 2 was a really good sequel that came in a little bit too far from the original. I think the original was 1997. This one is 2003. Yeah. So 6 years for a sequel, that is a bit much. A little bit too much.
And also, Bad Boys 2 didn't have KMFDM on the soundtrack like the original one did.
Correct.
There, I said it.
However, it had a lot of really funny moments that I love.
Yeah.
But it had a lot of Michael Bay moments that...
It's Michael Bay directing a Michael Bay film.
Yes. It's a little bit too much on the nose, Mike. Like, the part where they destroy a bunch of cars on a bridge, Michael Bay style, was a little bit too much.
Yeah.
It's a good thing for you that I rewatched Ferris Bueller because I changed my mind about that movie.
Suck it, chat.
Sweet Home Alabama or 30 Days of Night. Have seen both.
Both? Okay. Definitely going to go with 30 Days of Night because I like their interpretation of the modern day vampire. Because it had a complete different twist on what the vampires were and how they had a full pack mentality.
Yes. And it's going to be 30 Days of Night, even though I'm not into the horror and I'm definitely over vampires, just too much. And this is about the point, 2007, just about the point where I'm done with Buffy. I'm done with Angels. I'm done. Sweet Home Alabama fucking blows chunks. My wife loves that fucking movie.
I figured you've seen it way too many times.
Evil Dead.
Come on.
Perfect last pairing to stop on. The real Sam Raimi or the parody of new horror movies.
Yes.
This is a parody of new horror as opposed to just about the end time of old horror. Which one will you pick? Chat, we need you on this because we might have a different...
You already know what my opinion is on this. I love everything about The Evil Dead. So it's got to be Evil Dead 2.
Can I?
If you have not seen that movie,
I have seen that movie.
It is such a classic. It's so good.
Chat is split down the middle. You know what you want. I know what I want. It's Evil Dead 2, bitches. Easy. Evil Dead 2. This is my boomstick. I think it's the one where it actually says that line. I don't remember it saying it in the first one, right? It's not in the first one he says it.
No, it's not in the first one, and also with the chainsaw is
the chainsaw as well, yeah.
But what's really funny is the last two were both films that had Josh Hartnett in it, and then we also had a film that was in with Josh. It's like, were we just doing a film retrospective of Josh Hartnett in that segment there?
Oh, you mean this?
The only one that was missing was 40 Days and 40 Nights, which also, I think, what is it, Shannon Sossaman in that movie?
I think so.
And she is in this movie we're reviewing right now.
Oops. I clicked on Black Hawk Down, but never mind. I don't think it'll come up later. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway. Close this. Open this. Here we go. Professionalism. That's James Van Der Beek needs a hug.
Yes. Did you skip over the Victor trip yet?
No, it comes up now.
It's coming right. Okay.
It's
because I've got a whole segment about just that whole thing in its own.
Let me get you can start talking about. I need a good picture because the let's say this, the cuts when it goes to the Victor story are like, blasting.
Do you know why it's like that?
No, but I know I've seen it. I've seen it somewhere.
Yeah, production was actually running out of money, so Roger Avary and his what's his name? Greg Shapiro. They're the EP, and Kip Pardue, the actor who plays Victor. They went by themselves to Europe and shot this whole thing.
That's why it's grainy.
It's not grainy and segmented and everything. It was shot over the course of 15 days.
I would imagine so. Like
they had 70 hours of footage.
Really?
Yes.
Well, it's a camcorder, right?
Yeah. But did you see the fact, Paul Oakenfold? It was actually Paul Oakenfold.
I don't know who Paul Oakenfold is.
At the time the biggest DJ in the world.
Where they went to his show?
Yeah, and they actually met him. Yeah, that actually happened.
Okay. How did they convince him to film everything?
They just knew through Roger Avary. I mean, Roger Avary is a prolific Hollywood director.
Hey, I don't know.
Yeah. And then also all of the voiceovers that he's doing now, that Victor is saying.
Yeah, telling the story of his script.
Yeah, were based off of Roger Avary's post-college trip throughout Europe.
Interesting.
Yes.
So we're talking about Paris. We're talking about Rome, Amsterdam, and London.
Dublin.
Right? Dublin.
Yeah.
All right. That's basically the 6 locations, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And then the excess footage was actually cut down to a full film called Glitterati that has not been released yet. Roger Avary still has it because of music rights. They can't get the rights to all the music that's in it.
Okay. Isn't it like a moot point to release it now?
Yeah, but he's been trying to get it released since 2004.
What kind of? I'm trying to guess.
Yeah.
What the sounds that were in the vicinity when they shot the film, or just the DJ one?
That also the DJ, and also just music that was around them throughout the entire project. Because you have to imagine they're going through this like random hash bars, and they're going to random bars and clubs and everything. So it's like trying to get all of those rights, it would be insane. But if you notice too that this is, if you're a big fan of Ellis, then you'll love this. If not, you wouldn't. You wouldn't.
I'm not.
In London, where when some guy walks by him and he goes Plumpton, and he goes Plumpton. That was actually in another one of Bret Easton Ellis's novels that's based off of Victor.
Interesting.
Called Glamora. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah,
I've heard the name Glamora before, but I definitely haven't read a book like that.
That's wild. It's really wild. You think this one had a lot of sex and violence and stuff in it.
My favorite. Anyway, we hear the whole full story, and the thing is, like we said, the picture that Lauren had in her mind of what Victor is, or like the idolized version, just got shattered into 1.5 million pieces.
Yes.
Right? And then he sits there with Kevin from diner. American Pie.
Yes. That's Mitchell. Yes.
Yeah. And they have this whole interaction with Sean.
And did you love the actress in the background when Victor says something like outrageously offensive? She turns around like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I did notice that. And then Sean drags Mitchell to a drug deal.
To Rupert's.
Which...
Hey, bring daddy back change. Bring daddy back change.
This whole interaction is...
in that Mercedes, too. By the way, it was like, I didn't know it came in banana.
Yeah. However, again, we don't know Sean's actual backstory because he lies constantly.
About everything, yeah.
We don't know if he's rich. We don't know if he's poor. We don't know anything. However, he's a bad drug dealer because he owes a major drug dealer a lot of money. And this is where I was half expecting for Mitchell to run away and drive off.
Yeah.
And for Sean to get beaten to a pulp and come up at the party with marks, right?
Yeah.
And that didn't happen.
I love how it's all set up too. It's just like, I know where your money is. Mitch has your money. Mitch, give him the money. I don't know what you're fucking talking about, man.
When he pulls up this brand new machete.
Yes.
I was like, you should have made it a little bit, older. You know how you can make things look older than they are, but they kept that machete real nice and clean. I don't know. It bugged me. I don't know why.
Well, there's also too, just on the way there, the girl that Mitchell was with, Candace, how Sean just states it just flat out to Mitchell.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, I know your girlfriend. Without coke, she won't fuck you. So you need to do this as much as I need to do this. So let's go.
Kinda reminded me about a story that I've heard from Joey Diaz.
Very much so.
It's a real story that he tells that he, when he was younger, he had a friend that was working at a gas station. I'm just telling you because it literally, that point with Mitchell and his girlfriend reminded me of that story.
Definitely.
A friend of his was working at a gas station, and what he did was he was robbing the guy because the attendees used to have the money on them, and they, as soon as it reaches a certain point, they would cash it in.
Yeah.
So they would come up to him with like hoods, and they were all friends, right? Mug him and then run away. But the guy who was getting mugged, he knew it was Joey Diaz and a friend. And he says, well, you can mug me. You can beat me up. However, please give me some coke so I can go home and fuck my wife because she won't let me have pussy unless I come up with some coke. So you can rob me.
That's a Diaz story. Yeah.
Just leave me an 8-ball so I can party tonight. That story kind of went up to my head. It was like, Mitchell has to have coke to fuck his girlfriend. Otherwise, there's no dice. But they magically avoid Rupert. I don't know how they did it. They let Mitchell go, and Sean goes
there's
under
there's the whole big confrontation because Mitchell gets grabbed by one of the other guys. He grabs a can of Pam, like oven spray, and sprays it in the guy's face and just runs over.
And Sean gets away because he went under the table and then disappeared.
I was like, I don't know why he didn't grab the gun that was underneath there, because he grabbed the carving knife and hit the Jamaican guy on the arm with it.
On the arm,
and then he grabbed the machete. And I love when he's running away, he turns back and just chucks the machete.
Yeah. And then look at his face.
Yeah.
James Van Der Beek is a much better actor than I gave him credit for.
You know the thing that maybe it just was so reminiscent, like fresh in my mind. I was thinking of Father's Day when Ahab's like, "Oh, God, that was fucking awesome."
No.
Why didn't you guys get in on that?
Also, very true. He magically appears in the car, and Mitchell goes.
No, because he runs around the car.
I know.
And he's like, "I got the keys. I got the keys, idiot. Unlock the door."
Where are we?
That was back before key fobs, where you could just unlock it by hitting the button.
And then we have the confrontation between Sean and Lauren, where he kind of tells her he loves her, and she dismisses him outright.
Yeah. And what's interesting too is,
doesn't he say, "I have your letter"? But she doesn't
like, what about the letters?
Yeah.
And she doesn't dismiss the fact that she wrote the letters. She doesn't say, like, she's like, "I didn't write you the letters." That would resolve all the problems.
Exactly. But she doesn't. That's what I thought. It's like, why are you not saying, "Well, it's not mine"? she's just going on and on about her not trusting him, or they just
Well, it's just
met.
like, well, because
We
saying like,
just
well,
met a few times, and that's I
well, the
didn't
whole
get
bit,
the interaction.
the whole bit is supposed to be about how these people are so self-absorbed that they'll never really know anyone else. They'll never take the time to know anyone else.
Yeah.
So that's why she uses the line where he turns it back on Paul later. It's like, you're never going to know me.
Again.
And she also uses the whole line against him too, uses his own phrasing. It's like, whatever, man, rock and roll. And then the snowflake.
The snowflake.
The CGI snowflake, yes.
It's a CGI snowflake?
Yes.
That's a CGI snowflake?
No, the one where he's standing there and it falls and hits his cheek.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Lauren goes to her room and surprise.
Goes to Victor's. Yeah. If you notice what's on Victor's board.
Yeah. Taste came back positive. Be careful. They're like, yeah.
Okay. So now I can tell you
Dave.
From Dave, yeah. Because Dave was his friend. Yeah, that he's one of his lackeys. But so anyway, the story that I was going to bring up before was a rock star. This is one of his favorite films, specifically because of this one line, this one little bit in there.
Which rock star?
Marilyn Manson. Do you know why?
Why?
Ian Somerhalder was dating one of his ex-girlfriends at the time.
Oh. Okay.
After that, then Kit Pardue was dating her, and Kit Pardue is the one who plays Victor. So, get it? So he's thinking,
yeah. In it's like a roundabout way.
In a roundabout way, he's saying, yep.
The fact that he opens the door and Jessica Biel's in there, and
it's not Jessica Biel. It's not.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
Is it?
Different actress.
Never mind. Oh, let's see. No, it's after the Sean. He opens the door after Sean and Paul kind of get in an altercation about nothing, right?
Well, because it's the whole bit where Sean is basically like, he reveals his hand that he knew the entire time what Paul wanted. And he's like, Paul, I was like, I wish you wouldn't say stuff like that. Like, you want to know me, like, you're never going to know me either. So it's the same thing where it's breaking all of the self.
It's breaking that
narratives that they had,
and sort of loose
circle.
Circle, yeah. And Paul is dumbstruck, and then you realize, oh, that's why he was just looking for somebody to just fuck in that party.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, we get the scene with Lauren and Victor where she confronts him, and he seemingly doesn't know who she is. I mean, he knows who she is, but he's like, he's not there. Yeah, because
it's funny, because if you notice the beginning of the Victor scene, one of the first things he mentions Laura by name.
Yeah. And when Sean is kind of reluctant, he goes to search for another letter, even though, it's the last letter, right? Was there? I don't remember.
No, it's after.
It's not there anymore.
He goes to open up the mailbox, and there's nothing in there.
There's nothing there.
Then there's Rupert and his.
And then Rupert comes in and
thug.
Yeah, bashes his face. And then we're back at the party with him drinking the entire bottle of Jack, or some of it, ripping up the letters, and everything comes to a head, basically. And when Lauren leaves, there's Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And they have that interaction where he sort of knows what was going on. I think.
Well, because
right?
he asked her, like, were you the one leaving the letters? And
The
I was like,
letters.
I
Yeah.
don't. And even she goes, I don't know what letters you're talking about. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were the one leaving the letters, because he tells her, like, he really likes you. And I was like, oh, that's great. But like
Yeah.
the thing that's really important though in that whole bit is that that from the beginning that she had dated Paul before. And that's a whole like that's how you said like that circle's like it's very incestuous. How the way that they were all so closely knit together.
Yep.
But what's really important about that is the line that Lauren has at the end is like, because none of this really matters, not to people like him and not to people like us. That's the really important line.
It shows how, let's say, hedonistic, I would say, a little bit. They're all are a little bit hedonistic, a little bit, like you said, it's self-centered, living in their own world, having their own ideas about everybody else and themselves, putting themselves instead of, they have their own narrative and story in their head where it's just not what it actually is.
Yes, and if you think about it in so many ways too, like it's both Nietzschean nihilism, but it's also very almost brinking on sociopathy.
Yes, very much so, very much so. And it's so weird that you could definitely make this movie today, and it would hit like the Zoomer generation right in the heart.
Oh,
like, super in the heart. 20-somethings in 2022, college.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I think it's a little bit prophetic, but I don't know. Maybe it's that age, that demographic coming from that background that does it.
Very much so, yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to ask you, how, when you watched this for the first time, I mentioned that you were in college. Did it hit you the same way that you saw that you lived in your own environment?
I would have to say yes, but with age, I've gotten more meaning out of it because it's more now a retrospective than anything else. Because
so it's different when
is always 2020.
Yeah, different when you're living it. Like looking at it around and then stepping out of it, and then looking back at it again.
Very much so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. And that kind of brings us.
It's in the end, like you just have
the road
writing out, and it and it just says in the end, all I could think about was, and it cuts to black, and then the credits roll in reverse.
Yes. Which novelty. This is why I kind of stopped, because it didn't go with cast. I was like, oh, interesting. Click. Yeah. Because again, I told you, it's like, watched it. Okay, I got it. The one thing, it's a side note that I didn't write, but I should have. Now it came to me. Does Roger Avary suggest that Sean is going to get killed on that road on that night there? That's why it was cut in before he finished his sentence. Maybe it's just implied because there's nobody on the road. However, it is a snowy road with a motorcycle.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything because it would ruin the novel. I'll tell you backstage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Brings us to the end. I don't have a big summarization. I kind of said what I needed to say. However, I'll talk about the bright spots in this. The actress playing Lauren, didn't like her at all. No, it's not a bright spot. Yeah. Not a bright spot. Jessica Biel was billed in this in terms of billing to sell her basically likeness, because at the time she wasn't very well known. So it was just to sell a pretty girl on the poster. If you saw the poster I showed on screen at the start of our show was not the poster I use as the thumbnail.
In that, she actually took the role because she wanted to break out the same way that Jamie Lee Curtis took the role in Trading Places in order to get away from being a scream queen.
Okay.
She wanted to get away from the goody-goody image she had from being on Seventh Heaven.
She was a
TV
Disney
series.
girl, right?
No, she was kind of. It was
Nickelodeon.
Like a Christian,
Nickelodeon.
It was a Christian Holm show.
Okay.
But it was more. It was a family drama show, but she was a very the very goody two shoe character. She wanted to break out of that so she wouldn't be pigeonholed as that character going forward.
She wasn't doing great. However, I thought she kind of was billed incorrectly because she's not a big part of the movie. James Van Der Beek, like I mentioned, good surprise great surprise even. Because I hate his Dawson's Creek character. I hate Dawson in Dawson's Creek. I like everybody else in that show. I hate Dawson. It was the most bland character ever. And in this one, has a lot more depth. His actor chops coming to fruition. And I like watching that. I hate people getting pigeonholed. I hate people getting typecast. However, sometimes it fits and sometimes it doesn't. I like the fact that he had range in this. However, it's a pretty much forgotten movie with a pretty much forgotten actor. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's
that's about it. Bright spot. The guy playing Rupert, I liked his acting. That's it. Kind of fits. And that's about it. And generally speaking, there are moments in this that I liked, and I said it throughout the show. Don't want to rehash. Anything you would like to add to something that you didn't say?
A fun note. To get some surprise reactions from Shannon Sossaman, who plays Lauren, Jessica Biel would flash her.
To the delight of the crew, I'm guessing.
No, and Roger Avary is going on quote saying, "Yeah, it was shot to the back where the camera couldn't see it, but I could, and God damn it, I love my job."
Isn't Jessica Biel kind of, they tell that she's a little bit stuffy, but it's a real mischaracterization of her, and she's a fun.
Yeah, because if you
real life,
she's she was really great in a film that just came out shortly after this called London. Sorry, London was actually 2006, I think. But London's a great film. Chris Evans is actually in that, Jason Statham is in that too, and Isla Fisher. That's a really good movie. Also, there's oddly enough copious amounts of cocaine use in that film.
Strange.
And then also, if you saw, I just forgot the name of it. The most recent series that she was in.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of the series.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good, and I should watch it. It's just the time.
Yeah.
So, and plus Blade Trinity, but we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that. But The Sinner was good. That was another TV series that she was in the first season, which was really good too. So.
Too bad she was married to that jerk, Justin. What's his name? Timberlake. Yeah. Anyway, I told you I knew a lot about couples back in the day. I don't know what.
I was just gonna say that just for one last note, just to recap. I think if you go into the film knowing the fact that you are going to actively dislike these people, I think you get a little bit more out of it. Especially when they kind of all get their almost comeuppance at the end. Yeah. Some deserved, some not. Because Lauren, I don't think Lauren really did anything wrong at all.
No. And the thing is, the scene where she gets plowed is kind of rapey.
It is. That's what it is. That is what it is. It's no implied. That's what it is.
Yeah. However, she goes along with it, kind of, which is it's a weird spot. My wife did, like I said, Did not like it at all.
I knew you weren't going to like it, and if I knew that you were going to let Mrs. Meth watch this, I'd be like, no, do not do that. Do you want to have a fight?
Well, I got one. Let's just say the vomiting part did not help.
Yeah.
But that is about it. Right. We're done with January, basically. So next week, ladies and gentlemen, cannot fucking wait because I haven't dealt into that particular director in a long while. Plus, we have some fantastic guests coming up. So next month is Hitchcock month, Alfred Hitchcock month, and we're going deep into the weeds with some stuff. Next week, I'm not gonna divulge everything, just to keep it on a little bit mysterious.
Yeah.
Next week, we're gonna watch. We want you to watch Vertigo by Alfred Hitchcock. Original Vertigo. Your favorite Hitchcock movie?
My favorite, and also I believe it was 2 years ago, got updated to, it was listed as AFI's best film ever made. It beat
Citizen Kane?
It beat out Citizen Kane in votes. Yeah, at that point in time amongst critics. So it's like, it's a really good movie.
Would you happen to know I have the 4K version of Vertigo?
Oh, you did. Oh, you are in for a treat.
I'm going to watch it on my 4K screen. I'm not going to watch it like a peasant on this monitor, even though it is a 2K monitor. I'm going to watch it in full 4K.
Watch this like a fucking peasant.
Hey, I don't get to watch a lot of 4K movies because I'm not really into like this ultra, I'm not going to even mention 8K. I just don't like it.
I don't either.
However, I as soon as I saw, I can watch this in 4K. 4K in 1958, I think, right? 57, 58, 62, one of those years. I'm going to watch that in 4K. Brother, I'm down. I'm down for that. So next week, it's going to be Vertigo. I don't think we have a guest, but we might have a guest. So we're on fence. Currently, no guest. But we'll see. It's going to be fun.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Fun time. So go watch Vertigo. I think you can get it on Hulu. I think you can get it on Amazon Prime. I'm not sure if it's on their free thing. I think you can only rent it. It's not on my Netflix, but it could be on your Netflix. You could check that out.
I don't know.
Or just get a DVD copy of Vertigo. Yeah. Just watch it.
I own it, so it's like
yeah. I know a lot of people. I think who I talked to that owns it too, maybe Tom. The 4K version.
Oh, I have a full Hitchcock collection. So
he has a lot of them.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. So next week, Vertigo, and until then, guys, have a great weekend.
See you next week.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.